How to order at a restaurant in Brazilian Portuguese. This is what we are going to learn in this video. You finally arrived in Brazil after months planning your trip. If you're anything like me, I'm sure you have a list of restaurants you want to go to enjoy the Brazilian food. But how do you order at a restaurant in Portuguese? Don't worry, I will show you. Okay, so here's how this video is divided. We will talk about main vocabulary, words you need to know. Then we will talk about expressions, phrases you need to know to use at a restaurant. And then there's a dialogue to practice what you learned. And you can repeat after, so you also practice the speaking in Portuguese. Ready? Let's go! First things first. Here's how to say restaurant in Portuguese. Restaurante. O restaurante. It's a masculine word. O restaurante. Perfect. Now, at the restaurant, we also have the waiter. In Portuguese, o garçom. O garçom is masculine and a garçonete. A garçonete is feminine. That's the difference. Then at the restaurant, we have the table to sit. In Portuguese, a mesa. A mesa. Then, very important, we have the menu with what you can order at the restaurant. In Portuguese, this is called o cardápio. O cardápio. If you say menu, people will also understand, but usually we say cardápio. O cardápio. We have entradas. This is like the first dish you eat before the main dish, entrada. It can also be called petiscos, os petiscos in plural. Then we have the main dish, in Portuguese, o prato principal, o prato principal. And then we have dessert, a sobremesa, a sobremesa. Some typical Brazilian food you should try in Brazil are feijoada, moqueca, açaí, pão de queijo, and many others. The cutlery in Portuguese. So we have o garfo, a faca, a colher. And together these are os talheres, cutlery. So if you need an extra knife or spoon, you already know how to say it in Portuguese. Also very important, guardanapo, o guardanapo, to clean yourself when you're eating. Some restaurants you can just walk in and choose a table that is free. Then for this you will have to ask the garçom if the table is free. In Portuguese you can say a mesa está livre. This means, is the table free? Can we sit? But usually if the table is reserved, there is a card written reservado. This means it's reserved. But in other restaurants, you will have to wait outside. The waiter, o garçom, will ask you, mesa para quantas pessoas? Mesa para quantas pessoas? This means table for how many people? Mesa para quantas pessoas? Table for how many people? And then you can answer mesa para duas pessoas. Mesa para duas pessoas. Table for two people. Mesa para duas pessoas. Or mesa para cinco pessoas. Mesa para cinco pessoas. Table for 5 people. And to be polite, which is always good, you can say por favor. Por favor. This means please. Por favor. And obviously you should also greet the waiter. If you don't know how to do that, we already have a video on greetings in Portuguese. You can check it here. And you sat at the table. Now you want to ask for the menu. You want to ask for the cardápio. How do we do this? You can say, pode trazer o cardápio, por favor? Pode trazer o cardápio, por favor? This means, can you bring the menu, please? Pode trazer o cardápio, por favor? In some restaurants, you don't even need to ask, they will bring you directly, but if they don't, this is how you ask for the menu. Or you can simply say, o cardápio, por favor. O cardápio, por favor. Also important, at the menu, we have the side dishes. This is acompanhamento. Acompanhamento. Os acompanhamentos, the side dishes. Usually at restaurants in Brazil, you can have as side dishes rice, beans, fries, or farofa, or salad. There's a lot to choose. I mean, if it's a restaurant for lunch, because this is usually what Brazilians eat for lunch, but we will have a video about this in the future, and if you don't want to miss it, then subscribe to the channel. You are choosing from the menu, and then the waiter come to you and say, estão prontos para pedir? Já escolheram? Já escolheram? Já escolheram? This means, have you chosen? Já escolheram? And you say sim or não. No. If you haven't and you still need some time, you can say não, ainda estamos olhando. Ainda estamos olhando. Não, ainda estamos olhando. No, we are still looking. Now you are ready to order. How do we do this? When you know what you want to order, you can say eu quero and the name of the food you want to eat. Eu quero, por favor. Eu quero, por favor. For example, eu quero a feijoada, por favor. I want the feijoada, please. Eu quero a feijoada, por favor. This is one way to ordering your food. Or you can also say, eu vou querer. Eu vou querer a feijoada, por favor. I will want the feijoada, please. Eu vou querer a feijoada, por favor. The literal translation would be, I will want the feijoada, please. Sounds a bit weird in English, but we use the future tense sometimes to order at restaurants. So you can say, eu vou querer a feijoada, por favor. Eu vou querer a feijoada, por favor. You can also say, eu gostaria de pedir a feijoada, por favor. I would like to order the feijoada, please. This is grammatically correct, but we don't say this usually. It's more common to hear eu quero or eu vou querer. So keep this in mind, but it's correct to say eu gostaria. Now, also important, if you're vegetarian like me, you might want to ask if there's a vegetarian dish if you haven't seen. So, in Portuguese, you can say, tem alguma opção vegetariana? Is there any vegetarian option? Tem alguma opção vegetariana? Tem alguma opção vegetariana? Or you can also ask, tem alguma coisa sem carne? Tem alguma coisa sem carne? Usually in big cities, the restaurants will have a vegetarian option, but yeah, Brazilian eating habits are based on meat, so might be a bit difficult, but we also have many fruits and many vegetables, so I think you will find something to eat. Now you ordered your food and o garçom brought the food. O garçom trouxe a comida. Now you can say thank you, obrigado, or obrigada. Obrigado if you're a man, obrigada if you're a woman. If you want to ask for something else, for example, the table is missing napkins or cutlery, and you want to ask the waiter, you want to ask the garçom, you can say, você pode trazer guardanapo, por favor? For example, can you bring a napkin, please? Você pode trazer guardanapo, por favor? Você pode trazer, você pode trazer. Can you bring? Você pode trazer. Can you bring? And then what you need, what you want to ask. Also a very important word I forgot. Canudo, canudo. For example, você pode trazer canudo, por favor? You finished eating and now you want to ask for the bill. How can we do this in Portuguese? You can say again, você pode trazer a conta, a conta. Você pode trazer a conta, por favor? Você pode trazer a conta, por favor? Can you bring the bill, please? This is the most common way to order. Or you can also do this. You look at the waiter, você olha para o garçom, and you do this. Like you're writing on something. This means you want the bill, and the waiter will understand you. So if he's far from you, you just look at him, smile to be polite, and he will bring you the bill. I don't know if people do this in other countries, but this is how we do it here. Now, when you're paying for the bill, you can pay with credit card, cartão de crédito, or you can pay with cash, dinheiro, cash. If you pay with the credit card, it's possible that o garçom will ask you crédito ou débito. This means if you want to pay with credit or with debit. If your credit card is credit or debit. Crédito ou débito. I know this is not very common in other countries, but here it is. So you can also check this before traveling if you should pay with debit or credit when you're in other countries. Now let's listen to a typical dialogue in a restaurant. Boa noite. Mesa para quantas pessoas? Boa noite. Mesa para 2 pessoas, por favor? Claro, pode me acompanhar. Essa mesa aqui tá livre. Pode trazer o cardápio, por favor? Sim, claro. Aqui tá o cardápio. Já escolheram? Estão prontas para pedir? Sim, eu vou querer um filé com batata frita. Eu sou vegetariana. Tem alguma opção sem carne? Ah, sim. Nós temos a moqueca de banana. É vegetariana? Perfeito. Eu vou querer essa então.
Alguns momentos depois...
Aqui estão os pratos. Bom apetite. Obrigada. Pode trazer um guardanapo, por favor? Claro, vou trazer. A comida estava ótima. Pode trazer a conta, por favor? Sim, com certeza. No cartão ou no dinheiro? No cartão, por favor. Beleza. Muito obrigada. Tchau, tchau. Boa noite. Obrigada. Tchau, tchau. Boa noite. So now you know how to order at a restaurant in Brazil. I hope you enjoy your travel. If you want to continue learning Portuguese, this video is part of a series I'm doing on YouTube called Survival Portuguese, where I teach you the basics of Portuguese you need to know to travel to Brazil. And if you need more help with speaking or anything else, you can book a private lesson with me. The link is in the description below. Subscribe if you don't want to miss the next videos, and I'll see you next video. Tchau, tchau! Até a próxima!